Welcome to Familypreneur, the podcast for parent entrepreneurs
raising kidpreneurs.
It's time for your weekly dose of inspiration and actionable tips to build your business and find better balance, all while strengthening your family. And now we'd like to introduce your host.
She's my mom and thebomb.com,
Meg Brunson.
Hey there, welcome to episode number 95 of the Familypreneur podcast. It is Friday and it's time for my weekly reflections. And what is on my mind this week is Easter bunny pictures. Yep, it is April already, which means Easter is right around the corner. Easter is on Sunday the 21st this year. So if you are listening to this podcast in real time, it will release on April 5th. And you have just over 2 weeks to get all of your bunnies in order, or your ducks, for the Easter holiday. Now, one of our family traditions is to get Easter pictures taken with the kids at the mall. And traditionally, what this looks like is it is 2 days until Easter, and we still haven't gotten those pictures done yet. And so we really quickly and stressed get the kids dressed up in the nicest things that they own, none of which coordinate or match very well at all. And then we brave the mall on the weekend of Easter. The lines are ridiculously long. We stand in them for hours trying to keep our kids busy and without losing our minds. And this is how most of our holiday pictures have gone until now. I think that this does happen in more places than just my city, but I'm going to break down what we've been doing this year. Hopefully it's also happening where you live. And if it's not, I've got a solution for you there as well. So our Easter Bunny and our Santa Claus as well, they're both coordinated by the same company. I believe it's called Worldwide Photography. They do a lot of the, mall setups, and they actually allow you to pay for your pictures online and schedule your appointments in advance. Now, I'll be honest, we've done this. This is our third season that we've scheduled our appointments in this way because we learned from our mistakes from that stressful example that I told you about just a moment ago. So now what I do is I'm on their mailing list, of course, and they send me an email to let me know that they are booking appointments for Easter. And I got that email about 2 weeks ago, and I don't wait. So as soon as I get the email, I log in, I find a time that I want to go, I buy the smallest package. Now I do opt for, they have a little upsell. So I get a package of pictures that I use with all 4 of my kids, with the bunny, and then I do the upsell that gives us a family photo, just because why not, right? It's $10, and we get a picture of my whole family together for spring. So I go ahead and get those. I think the total came to something like $35 or $40. Not a huge deal. And then I put it on the calendar. Now, a couple things, right? Now I've paid for it, number one. And number two, it's on my calendar. And I strategically pick my calendar appointment still to try to avoid the crowds. Because even if I have it paid for and we have a reservation, crowds still give me an anxiety, and I know this about myself. So I always book our pictures. My kids have early release on Mondays, so I book our pictures at about 1:30 on a Monday, and that Monday was this past Monday. And we head up to the mall when it's not crazy busy, and there really aren't any lines anyhow, which made us question, should we be booking these appointments in advance still? Should we be paying for these pictures still when we could just show up with no appointment at this time and walk in and see the bunny? But the truth of the matter is, when you invest in something, your money, even something small or relatively small, like $30 or $40, you're investing your money into something, and then it goes on your calendar, right? So it's like a 2-step process. And with those 2 things, it helps ensure that we get it done. So now those pictures are done, and we're able to leverage them in a cute social media post leading up to Easter. We can send some copies of the pictures to our family and friends who don't live nearby us. We're able to leverage those pictures in different ways. But it also leads me into a business concept. So number one, you're listening, you probably have kids. Check it out. See if your local mall offers this service. I'm I don't get any kickbacks, like it's now an affiliate program, but I'm willing to bet that you're going to enjoy the experience so much better if you make a reservation, invest that little bit of money, and even if you go there in a super busy time, if you have the reservation made, you get to go in a special line. So there's a line for people with reservations, and they basically alternate between the reservation line and the non-reservation line. So it gets you way closer to the front of the line while still giving some precedence or some preference or whatever to the people who just kind of walk in. So 100% check this out. It makes life so much easier when you've got little kids. When it comes to how I apply a similar lesson to different aspects of my life, my calendar is a big part of that. So I use Google Calendar for my scheduling of my appointments, my activities, things like that. I have my whole system worked out where if I'm putting in content for my kids, I have it labeled in a certain way so that that's clear. And what I do is every night, I look at the following day and I'm able to see what appointments are scheduled. And I will then pad in additional tasks. So typically when it comes to scheduling appointments with me, you're unable to schedule them. I have it set so that people can't schedule less than 24 hours in advance. And that's because what I like to do that night before is fill in my gaps. If I see that I have an hour gap in between a doctor appointment and a phone call, I can look at my to-do list and figure out how that hour would be best spent. And then I put that thing on my calendar. Once it's on my calendar, it automatically has a different level of importance to me, right? So I see it as something I'm more responsible for doing. It's more important than a checklist or a to-do list for me. And once it's on my calendar, I also get notifications on my Apple Watch, which has been one of my latest and greatest new purchases. So I get those reminders a half an hour before and then 10 minutes before that event is supposed to happen. So even if it's not a super important phone call, it might be letting me know that it is time for me to wrap up the task that I'm working on and start working on the next task. And this system has really helped me with my productivity over the past year or so that I've been implementing it and perfecting it. And if that's something that you're struggling with staying productive throughout the day, I suggest you give it a try. I also will block off time that I need to commute to appointments. I block off time every evening to read to my kids. So I use my calendar really to help me structure all of my awake time where I'm responsible for things, whether it's family things, business things, or fun things. They all go on the calendar and it helps keep me in check. It helps make me feel more balanced. I hope that you have a great day, a great weekend, and that April is off to an amazing start. Remember, you only have 2 weeks until Easter, so if that's a big deal for you, you better start planning. I would love to have you join me in the Familypreneur community if you're not already in there. So go ahead and go to familypreneurcommunity.com, join our free group, and jump right into the conversations. It's a supportive group of parent entrepreneurs who are raising entrepreneurial kids and looking for support in the areas of parenting, entrepreneurship, and marketing their business. We would love to have you there. Of course, we release new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And if you are subscribed, we appreciate you. Thanks for keeping us on your list of podcasts. I know that time can be limited, and I am really focused on bringing you the content that you want to hear every single week. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.
Do us a favor. Share this podcast to a friend. It's like my mom always says, sharing is caring.